In this video, I would like to give you an overview of our next homework assignment, which is assignment 3, Property Assessment Program. So in this assignment, you will have a chance to practice with the scanner class to provide a program with user input using keyboard, and also explore simple ways to perhaps use if statement to check some simple conditions to select what information you would like to display, like I did over here. Remember that this is the handout for the assignment, and this is the actual link to the web form to submit your file. I only want you to submit your Java file. You don't have to submit the entire project or anything else. I only need your source file. Also, do not make a mistake of submitting a class file. I'm expecting you to submit a Java file. I would like to be able to see this, the code that you write. Alright, so let's click on this link. So here's the handout. But before we get started, if I need any sort of demonstration, of course, I would like to go ahead and first of all close this project and create new project to start working on assignment 3. I'm not sure if I need to create new project. I will create it when I need it. So I'll just keep it blank like this. So let me resize this to give you just some tips regarding this specific assignment. Let's take a look. Okay, so we need to write a program that calculates an estimation of a real estate property value. Okay, sounds reasonable. Declare variables. So you know how to declare variables. You need to use the type and the name of the variable, and possibly you can assign an initial value to it. I'll go ahead and create a project. Homework 3. And I'll create the homework, the main class for this homework, and name it main app. That's just my choice for doing it like this. Alright, so the name of the project and the package is homework 3, but we have the class name main app because it represents the main method. Just for now, just get rid of the comments, all of these. However, remember, I still require that you provide a comment here specifying your name, the assignment number, and the name of the program. Okay, so let's get started. The usual, I decorate the closing braces with names of the class and the method. Okay, so that's a good, pretty straightforward. So the first step is to declare variables to hold the data fields for. Of course, declaring variables requires two things, names of them and the types. So I would not hesitate, just to give you an example, I would not hesitate to just copy and paste these things directly here. Why not? And convert them to variable names. So here I'll just say string, I guess it could be a string, right? Street number and street name, which is another string, I guess. So I don't need to invent new names if I could just reuse the part of the vocabulary of this handout already. The number of rooms, you can do the same thing, right? You can just pick something like that and make it a variable. And of course, this would likely to be an integer. 5 string variables for types of rooms. So apparently, the user will have a chance to enter the names of the rooms. So I'm not going to be creating these variables. Instead, it's just going to look a little ugly. It'll be just like this: string room 1, okay, and then room 2, 3, 4, 5, something like this. So just simple creation of variables like this. Yes, 5. All right. So I'm not forcing you to use these specific names. I'm just giving an example of what you could do and how I normally choose names of my variables. If I start not to like these names, I will rename them later on, but I need to get started with something. I also want to let you know that in these handouts describing the logic of your program and all the steps that you need to do, I tend to, like, you know, demystify it by simply laying it out as in a step-by-step approach. So just be sure to, like, know how to interpret each one of these bullet points and steps, and just do it. It's just like, do this, 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 and this. This is the approach. Okay, so we also have one double variable that we need to create here, which corresponds to the price per square foot. So once again, this variable probably should be initialized to a 0. Just an example, I will just say double price per square foot. And once again, I like to copy and paste things, but just follow an appropriate convention, price per square foot, something like that. If this is our vocabulary used in this business description, then it's quite appropriate to transfer it like this. And once again, probably want to initialize it with 0. So now we have to get user input for all of the variables. Now notice my list of variables may not be complete. You just need to make sure that you provide, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that you need to add. So I'm not doing your homework, I'm just giving you examples of declaring these variables. Prompt the user for each of these fields. So you need to think how to interact with the user and make sure that you ask them for all of this information. Once again, you don't have to invent many new things. If you're going to ask for the number of rooms in the house, just copy and paste this and say, okay, this is your prompt, and have them enter the number of rooms. Now your challenge is to compute the area of the house. So the thing is that you're going to be asking for the rooms, room 1, and then immediately you need to ask them for the area, and so to demonstrate these 5 integers, so we can do it like this. Those will be integers, and you need to say integer area. Perhaps we can do it like this: room 1, room 1, room 2, 2 right here, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you know, I just, why don't we initialize all of these variables to something that would be safe to use? 0 is a perfect choice for an integer. And rooms we can also initialize to an empty string, right? So if you'd like, you can initialize all of these strings to an empty string. I don't see anything wrong with this. This is fine. And so as we ask for the room 1, we just say what is the name of the room, and then immediately we'll be asking them to provide you know, prompt them for the area, basically just how many square feet this room has. And so we'll collect all of this, and then we need to print the report. We say display the results in the following format. Your program should keep the line count like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in a separate variable. Once again, line count should be a separate variable. This is part of this requirement, so don't skip over these things. It's important. All right, so somewhere here we're just going to say line count, and perhaps this is another integer. line count, make it like this, initialize it with whatever you want and use it in whatever you want. But apparently what you need to do when you print this output section of the program, when you work on this and you need to provide this output, just make sure that you use this variable when printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do not hard code 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Use this variable, but before you print, you can always increment it like this, right? So you can just use the name, say equals line count plus 1, right? And then you can print it. Then later on, you do it again and again and again, and just basically use the line count to count the lines. This is very typical in reporting. You don't want to hard code something which is sequential like this. Your choice should really be a line count variable, and as you move from line to another line to the next line and so forth, you just increment the counter and include that counter in your output. So it's a very kind of standard approach. And then once again, you can just copy and paste this format if you'd like. You can just make some adjustments here, whatever, but this is what you need to print. So you need to print street and print the street name, I suppose, and then the number, right? So the number could be an integer, could be a string. It's really up to you. There was a requirement that the street name should allow for spaces. Remember, getLine allows you to get user input from keyboard with spaces embedded in them. So just remember that getLine of scanner can do that pretty easily, right? And then just keep printing. So here, when we say total rooms, just tell print how many rooms they have entered. Print the list of the rooms by simply just printing room 1, room 2, room 3, all of this. Then print the total area, which apparently should be the sum of these variables. Just add them together. Calculate the total square foot, and then price per square foot, and then estimated property value. So you can just work on these variables on your own. So coding requirements are that something that I already did already satisfies the coding requirements. If for some reason your code looks like this and like this, right, so just like out of place and everything, remember, this is not acceptable. I will start deducting points for these kinds of strange looking, code. But look, source format takes care of it, so take advantage of this option. I use it all the time. Why not? And so these are all the requirements that are simply achieved by doing source format. Really, it's that simple. Okay, just to make sure that you save your project often, compile often, and test small changes constantly. Do not expect that you make a lot of changes and it will be working properly. If you have any questions about this homework, I would encourage you to post your questions in the discussion forum. I'll be monitoring the discussion forum, and I encourage everyone also to watch for posts, subscribe to the forum, and I would say it would be great if you could help other students if you know the answer to a certain challenge. Of course, do not provide copy and paste like solutions to the entire parts, but just give people correct direction. Okay, so I hope this covers what we have here. So like I said, any further questions should be addressed in the discussion forum.